When chaos breaks out, the UN comes to the rescue.
Para mim, o Peacekeeper sempre teve aquela visão de herói.
But after 13 years of keeping the peace in Haiti, it is leaving behind a troubled legacy.
As miserable as our lives are, we did not have cholera. But enter the UN, boom, cholera.
With the departure of the Blue Helmets, Haiti will be on its own, and the task ahead is immense.
That stabilization is in the hands, ultimately, of the people of Haiti.
But for some, life has changed forever. Haiti is bidding farewell to some of its most controversial guests. Peacekeepers with the United Nations Stabilization Mission in Haiti, or MINUSTAH, are pulling out after 13 years in the country. It was the only peacekeeping mission ever organized in the Americas, the UN's most expensive outside Africa, an operation that involved more than 100,000 blue helmets. Antonio was one of them. At 22, this was his first peacekeeping mission, and he says, a source of great pride.
Bom, eu sempre acompanhei o exército desde criança e eu via a missão de paz como o auge da carreira do militar. Eu achava que o militar, para ele vir para uma missão de paz, ele tinha que ser realmente um militar que se destacasse, um militar diferenciado. Então, para mim, o Peacekeeper ele sempre teve aquela visão de herói, do melhor militar do exército brasileiro ali, que era cedido para a ONU. Então, ser destacado para uma missão, para mim, foi a maior honra da minha vida.
We joined the Brazilian military wing of MINUSTAH on the last few days of their Haiti deployment. 37,000 Brazilian soldiers passed through here during the 13 years the country led the military wing of the operation, a mission they consider a success.
In my case, it's the best mission of my life. It's to be a peacekeeper, to command the peacekeepers, because you can provide security, but you can help the children, the women, the poor people. In many cases, it's an honor. It's because we are so proud, and you are not here for famous, for medals, for money. We are here for ideal. We have ideal. I have a heart. We are soldiers, we are peacekeepers, and we'll put this in the heart of the soldiers, our soldiers. They like to be a peacekeeper. Once peacekeeper, we are peacekeeper today, and you'll be peacekeeper ever, 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 ever. I'm happy because we accomplished our mission. The soldiers did a beautiful job, a tremendous job. MINUSTAH, it's a case of success in the UN history.
And that positive assessment was shared by the UN Security Council, which decided to pull these troops out of Haiti, deeming the country safe enough. But can this nation maintain peace and stability on its own? Not everyone here is convinced.
Là, Haïti n'est pas encore prêt pour le départ de la MINUSTAH. Nous avons peu d'effectifs niveau police nationale pour la population. Si vous regardez les villes de province, là dans la capitale, ils sont déjà encombrés. Et dans les villes de province, l'effectif est minime. Donc après le départ de la MINUSTAH, qu'est-ce qui va se passer? Est-ce qu'on ne va pas retourner au chaos de même qu'en 2004?
To say MINUSTAH's actions were controversial is a major understatement, and many in Haiti say they are relieved to see the troops go.
The very presence of MINUSTAH is a controversy here because, first of all, where's the war? A peacekeeping force, keeping the peace between whom and whom. But I think on a deeper level, this is Haiti. This is the land of Jean-Jacques Dessalines. This is a people that vowed never to be controlled and chained, enslaved again. And here is this military force walking around in full battle regalia, hand on trigger, and who treat the people with a great deal of contempt. And so their very presence here, I cannot see a positive in it. To me, as a Haitian, it's an insult to me, their being here under these conditions.
MINUSTAH is the UN's 5th mission in Haiti. The first peacekeeping troops were sent to the country in 1993. In over 2 decades, the UN claims to have helped Haiti restore its democracy by securing peaceful political transitions. But the streets tell a different story. As the UN mission approached its end, anti-government protests turned violent. While we were in the country, people were taking to the streets to voice their discontent with the 2017 budget. The feeling among many people here is that those who run Haiti are not at the service of Haitians, but of foreign powers interfering in the country through the UN.
Nous pas cap supporter n'a boule caoutchouc n'a casé n'a brisé jusqu'à ce que nèg yo touyer nous Jean ouvre touyer nous nous pas kembe ça pour comment il est moi le Peterson
un grand jour pour nous dire Jovenel dit ça avec parlementaire ça yo il a torti et de souvent soldats sont nous dit volons ça yo jeune n'a pas prendre mais yo autres qui volent.
Even in a seemingly calm day, tension is present. Cité Soleil, the country's biggest shantytown and one of the poorest in the world, is one of the clearest symbols of how fragile Haiti's stability is. In its early years, MINUSTAH fought to regain control of the area from drug gangs. Now violence is taking over once again. Residents say rival gangs fight daily gun battles. And the officers stationed at the local police headquarters told us authorities are not in control of the area. But those who believe Haiti will be better off without the UN say all MINUSTAH has done was to impose peace, and that has come with a cost.
They shouldn't have been here, but what they've done here since they've been here has been insult to injury. See, as miserable as our lives are, and I'm talking about outside of lovely Pétionville, we did not have cholera, but enter the UN, boom, cholera.
It was perhaps the darkest chapter of the UN's presence in Haiti. A cholera outbreak that killed more than 10,000 people and sickened hundreds of thousands. The disease had not been registered in Haiti in 100 years, and the 2010 outbreak was traced back to UN soldiers. This is where the problem started. In this space, hundreds of Nepalese peacekeepers were stationed, and here, the very first cases of cholera were recorded. Nepalese soldiers were accused of disposing of human waste inadequately near Haiti's biggest river, the Artibonite. Local residents showed us the spot where they say Nepalese troops illegally dumped excrement just a few meters from the stream. Among those giving us the tour of the abandoned military base was Pascali Ulysse. The 17-year-old lost his cousin and a best friend to cholera. Everyone in Mirebalais knows someone who died of the disease. The city has become the cholera capital of Haiti. Marthurin Dervilus says he wasn't afraid when he fell ill, but it affected his work and his livelihood.
Bon, moi-même, j'ai fait 5 jours, même lui fait 3 jours. Et un mois, pas travail.
Après ça,
on va être malade. Non, je viens, maman, je viens.
In the community, activists are trying to get compensation for the impoverished families who they consider victims.
Alors, j'ai travaillé avec 160 environ.
Et dans tout le pays, c'est des milliers de cas.
Exactement. des milliers. Alors, des centaines de milliers.
François Miséphine has a similar story.
Vous avez eu peur?
Oui.
She was sick for 7 days and feared for her life and for the lives of her 6 children.
Avant, c'était vomissement qui pas trop tellement bagaille, mais après ça, c'était gros diarrhée et avec je me batouais. Même quand on t'a regardé me batouais, après ça, me pas tendé.
She told us what started to torment Haiti in 2010 never really went away.
Juste nous pas gain, yo pas ba nous tout rien tant que pour nous ta protéger tête nous. Juste nous là sous le bon Dieu mais nous pas gain rien tant que même bagaille nous pas gain pour nous traiter de l'eau, nous pas gain. Mais nous utilisons Clorox quand même.
This year, over 7,000 cases of cholera were registered across Haiti. The UN never really admitted guilt and instead apologized for not doing enough to contain the spread of the disease.
The United Nations deeply regrets the loss of life and suffering caused by the cholera outbreak in Haiti. I want to say very clearly, we apologize to the Haitian people.
But a legal fight against the UN is no easy task, and many here are without hope.
There's been absolutely zero compensation, and of course the mechanism of that is that if you don't admit you've done it, then you don't go any compensation. Even the apology itself was an apology for our possible involvement. It wasn't an apology for having put this on you, because then compensation would have had to follow automatically, but they've worked their legal game very well. Even the apology on bended knee, but the apology does not facilitate any kind of compensation, and there isn't. What they promised to do is, we'll try to raise a 400 million package, but we don't. But to this day, this package isn't being raised. We can't. People are not donating. Funny enough, yeah. And there isn't any desire to offer any compensation. There never was. And Haitian people know that. Yeah.
For many, cholera would become MINUSTA's saddest legacy in Haiti. But there was more. Some in the country say they were abused by the very people sent here to guard and protect them. MINUSTA soldiers have been accused of being involved in a number of sexual assault cases. The UN Conduct and Discipline Unit has registered 75 allegations of UN sexual exploitation and abuse in Haiti, but a report published this year estimates there are over 600 victims. Women, but also men and children who say they were abused in transactional sex incidents in exchange for food and medicine.
Le nom c'est Gabriel David Munoz.
Saint-Thiel says she will never forget the name of the soldier who fathered her son. A peacekeeper from Uruguay who promised Saint-Thiel a house. She doesn't believe she was used. She says they had a normal relationship. But after years without hearing from Mr. Munoz, she took her case to the UN, which was of no use.
Comment vous vous sentez?
Pas bien du tout.
Ça vous rend triste?
Oui.
Vous me dites, vous espérez quoi pour le futur?
Je souhaite que le futur soit meilleur, qu'il y ait un changement pour aider à prendre soin de Timounio. Parce que faut Timounio à l'école, il y a l'école, il a besoin de manger. Si il est malade, il faut aller à l'hôpital, c'est à quoi bonne faire.
Mario Joseph is helping Saint-Thiel fight that battle. He became famous in Haiti after suing the UN in over 5,000 cholera cases. Now he's taking on the organization in another legal struggle. He represents 10 women who accuse peacekeepers of sexual abuse, but tells us there are many more. He says the majority are reluctant to go public, often out of shame or embarrassment.
We got people who have been raped, sodomized, people who have been, pregnant, who bear some children.
Mario Joseph says he's contacted the UN hundreds of times on behalf of his clients, but made no progress.
And you've never received any?
Never any answer. That's why we are ready to go to the court now for these 10 women and 11 babies, because we got one who have twins. Our main problem, United Nations is a organizations who promote the human rights, who promote the due process. They promote that. And then in Haiti and in some African countries, they don't respect the rights of the black people, of the poor people. That's why today we talk about two standards. The standards for, for white people, another for black people.
Every allegation of sexual abuse and exploitation that we receive is treated in a very serious manner in keeping with the guidelines and the procedures outlined by the United Nations headquarters.
Sandra Honoré is the UN Secretary General's special representative in Haiti. As the head of MINUSTAH, she's responsible for what has been done and what has not.
In the past, when we have had allegations, we have attempted to support the victims through, for example, provision of employment in some cases, and also pursuing actively through our headquarters with the countries of origin of the perpetrators to ensure that justice is done, and to ensure that in the case, for instance, where there are children born of such cases, that there is provision made for these children.
But Saint-Théo isn't the only one who's got nowhere by waiting for the UN to help. She introduced us to a neighbor who also had a child with a soldier. Hosmina was 17 when she gave birth, so under Haitian law, she's a victim of rape. Now she's left with the task of providing for her child without any support.
C'est difficile d'être seule avec ton enfant?
Oui, c'est difficile.
Pendant combien de temps?
Hosmina lost her home in last year's hurricane and could certainly use a helping hand. But she says she's waited 6 years for the UN to make good on its promise to get the father to recognize her son and provide support. But so far, nothing has happened.
There may be occasions on which there is perhaps not the speed of the response is not what the persons presenting allegations are requesting, but we do very thorough, I can assure you, investigations on the basis of allegations that are presented.
But time is something Hosmina says she's running out of.
Mais ministre wal ki te pays ya, yo va jamais même te sa de nan avant aller si te rele nou. Yo te ban nou yo, mais yo pa rele nou, yo pa di nan yem. Nations Unies gen possibilité pour li aider nous ak ti moun nan, mais yo pa vle faire ça. Mais nation va intéresser des ti moun nan yo. Depuis sous 9 mois n'a recevoir journaliste, y a ple de faire nous parler. Yo fait nous monter Port-au-Prince, ça fait test ADN, yo va jamais bonne réponse là. Mais test là gen 3 ans là, yo va jamais di rien. Ba kon ça k'ap passer. Yo toujours fait nous parler à journaliste, rien va jamais marcher. Mais Nations Unies pral, mais ministre pral quitter pays en octobre là, yo va jamais rele nous pour yo di nous rien. Simplement yo lage nous ak ti moun nan, moi pas comprendre.
Vous croyez qu'après ça, c'est...
Fini.
As MINUSTA packed away their vehicles and military equipment, there was no sign of what will be left for those who claim their lives were drastically altered by the troops' presence. It's not clear if the sexual exploitation cases will be pursued, and there's no proper plan to compensate the victims of cholera, leaving the two biggest controversies involving the UN time in Haiti largely unaddressed. Cholera and rape were not part of the UN's plan. The original blueprint was to make Haiti a safer and more stable country, which the UN says it managed to do. And the UN Security Council's conclusion that Haiti is safer and more stable was largely based on the assumption that the country's police will be able to maintain order. For that, UN police have trained the Haitian National Security Team, and a small unit will remain in the country for another 2 years. High-ranking officials know the task ahead of these men is immense.
It's such a challenge, a big challenge. Now the police, the national police, they have all, in the end of this year, they reached the number of 15,000 soldiers. 2 UN is sufficient to assume the responsibility of security, but they need more equipment. They don't have money to spend on equipment. They don't have capacity so far to deploy the troops throughout the country, but they are buying equipment. Then they are not 100% prepared, but they are better than they was in 2004.
We followed a joint UN-Haitian police patrol in the streets of Port-au-Prince. Lieutenant Reine Laurette Badji from Senegal is in charge of this group of 30 officers, tasked with preparing local security personnel for what lies ahead. After a year and a half in the country, she says Haiti's list of priorities should be expanded to include other areas.
À votre avis, est-ce que c'est la sécurité? Est-ce que c'est la santé? Est-ce que c'est la pauvreté? C'est tout. C'est l'ensemble.
Côté sécuritaire, maintenant on constate que la police nationale est en train de faire des efforts. Oui, par rapport au début, il y a une nette amélioration.
Developing the Western Hemisphere's poorest nation was not the UN's mission. But giving it the tools to stand on its feet could have been. Haiti certainly has come a long way in the past 13 years. Some kind of political stability, albeit fragile, has been achieved. After a torrid election process, which was monitored by the UN, a president was confirmed at the start of 2017. And certain areas have been developed thanks to work facilitated by UN agencies and partners. But just how much the UN should be credited for the country's victories is debated by many people here. The departure of MINUSTA will lay bare the scars left by its controversial presence and the lives it changed forever.